Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video we're doing another hill walk from the Mynydd list, which is my personal list of the best hills in South Wales. Today we're doing Mynydd Llangynidr. It's 557 metres, so it is quite a big hill. And we are starting out from Trefil. There are a few different ways of walking this hill, and we're going to start here. But we're actually going to show you both ways. We're going to do a linear walk today, so once we get to the hill, the way down will be another route which you can take from a really nice car park on the moorland. So should be a really good walk, this one. It is not topped by a trig point or anything, but there is a lot of large stone cairns up there, and there's also the Chartist cave, so a cave where the Chartists stored weapons and guns and stuff before they unsuccessfully marched on Newport quite a while ago. A story told in the Alexander Cordell novels. So we're just pottering around at the moment. I'm actually looking for the start of a spring because I'm out on a wild camp tonight and I need to get some water, so it's going to be one of those miners walks where we are doing it overnight, so the walk back will be tomorrow morning. It's hard to tell if we're following a trail or not here. This is actually the Cambrian Way that we're picking up at the moment, but it's really hard to tell what's a sheep trail and what's a kind of a path better worn by humans. So it is marked on the map, so this should take us directly to the summit. Should be a pretty short walk as well. It's not too far. The slightly longer section is walking along the road. The road takes you to Trefil Quarry, so it's blocked off just outside the tiny little sort of habitat of Trefil. So you've got to park your car there and walk along that disused road and then cut up. Well, you can cut up wherever you fancy, really. Like I said, I'm trying to pick up the Cambrian Way in the hope that it'll be an actual path to make the walking easier. It's not bad at the moment, but it's one of those paths that you just know will probably disappear at any time, and then you'll be stuck following any sheep trails that you can find. Well, here we are at the summit, 557 metres. Only a short walk up, which you will see if you go to my website, thewalkingkev.co.uk. you will see the route I've taken up here. I would advise that you have OS maps on your phone, or a good map on your phone with GPS, especially the weather is less than ideal, just because you are following a lot of the time sheep trails up to this point. So it really helps with the GPS just to position yourself every now and again, just to make sure you're going in the right direction. And also try and fix on some landmarks. So you have got Cefn yr Ystrad and Trefil Quarry over there. You've obviously got the central Banner Brychenog, Penvan, Corndy and stuff. So just make sure you know those directions are, and if you know from GPS you're going in the right direction for a short period, then just keep checking those landmarks and you should go in the right direction. It was a fine walk up here, but that's bearing in mind it's been 2 to 3 weeks of pretty dry sunny weather here in Wales, so it could be a lot worse, a lot boggier in wet weather and stuff, so obviously do check the condition before you come up here. But one of the reasons this is on the miners list is just the views in every direction, and also just the peace and quiet. You've got great views of the central Banner Bacanyog and just all the hills around, and huge vistas south as well. And yet, you know, you rarely see a person up here. It's very, very peaceful, so you'll never see more than a handful of people on this walk. And obviously I'm going to camp overnight, and the walk back tomorrow is a much better trail because it takes in the Chartist cave, so it's a really easy trail to follow back to the car park that we're heading for. So if you do want to get up here much easier, then do this walk from the car park that we're heading back to tomorrow. So I'm going to go and find somewhere to pitch my tent and then we'll look forward to hopefully a nice sunrise and then go and explore in the Chartist cave on the way down. Right, it's the next morning. It is a glorious morning. Cold wind, plenty of sunshine, lots of nice clouds, a bit of interest in the sky. Views from up here are absolutely fantastic, so we're going to crack on and try and pick up the main path and find the Chartist cave. We'll have a little nose around there, then we'll go to Blaen Onneu, which is another nice hill and drink point, and from there we should be able to dart left down to another parking spot. So if I was going to walk this hill, I'd walk it from that car park up to here and then back again. But again, last night, because we're doing a longer wild camp, we ended up sort of walking up from Trevel as well. So you've seen both ways. So yeah, I'm going to leave the sheltered spot, embrace the cold wind and head towards that cave. For those of you who've never heard of the Chartists, they were essentially people who had a chart. It was a sort of a list of requests around fair working practices, fair salaries, bit of health and safety at work and stuff. So it wasn't anything that radical. It was just about some basic fairness. But being British, we never really caught on with that. We were a bit of a nation of bootlickers, really. So the Chartist movement never really took off as much as it could do, and was eventually put down by other soldiers, other working class people. But it's really interesting to think of this being used as a place to stockpile weapons, because it is in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty bleak up here, so the effort involved in getting stuff up here, storing it, and then obviously taking away and marching to Newport, which is probably a good 30-35 miles away from here. Yeah, some people really did want to fight to gain the basic rights that we kind of take for granted today. If you want to find this cave, it is marked on OS maps, and it is right next to the main track that walks past here. So if you are following the route that I'm going to take back to the car park and you're following it the other way, you will absolutely walk straight past this place. So you'll see a hardy footpath worn about a few meters, bringing you into the cave, so you can't really miss it. So if you do want to have a nose around, then certainly do. It's a good place to take shelter if it's raining or if it's really windy now, because it is absolutely blowing a gale this morning. So I'm glad of a little bit of respite from that, but now it's time to get on and crack back. Here we are, Blaen Onneu, 541 metres, another hill on the miners list. This one here, this is a bit of a flat-topped hill, but it's got a nice trig point. But the views, 360 degrees, absolutely amazing. So you've got Penavon, Corndy and the central beacons over there. Cefn Rhostrydd, the most southernmost beacon, just parallel with me. Torifol, other big hills in front. You can see Llangynidr Lake down there as well. You can see the Black Mountain Range and the highest points of that, the Sugarloaf, the Skirrid, and then you can look south and you've got the heads of the valleys, so all of the hills there, which I've either done at some point, or I've done them all, but I'm going to do them again, some of them for the miners list as well. So this is a really accessible hill in terms of distance and ascent. So where you park at the car park is not very far to get. I think it's about 1.1 miles. and because you're parking reasonably high up as well, there's not much ascent to do, and there's a clear path to follow to get here. So if you wanted to do a hill where you've got absolutely amazing views but not too much effort, this is definitely one to try, because yeah, it is just absolutely spectacular up here. It's a pretty bleak moorland really, but the views in every direction just, yeah, absolutely breathtaking up here. So I think there's a couple of tracks ahead sort of back towards the car park. I'm going to stick with the main track for a bit longer and then sweep left a bit further down, just because I think that's a slightly easier route. But yeah, chilly, breeze, but lovely sky today. Well, that's two great hills from the miners list ticked off. Probably a shorter video than usual, but hopefully it gives you a bit of an impression of the views and the general walking of those two hills. As ever, the full route will be on my website, thewalkingkev.co.uk, so you can see there where to park, the route to follow, and obviously the two different routes. I would advise walking from the car park where I'm at now, just because it's a better walk, it's an easier walk, and it's just the views are absolutely stunning from the get-go as soon as you park the car. You might not want to get out the car, you might just want to sit there, have a picnic and enjoy the stunning views. Anyway, huge thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next one.